Hello and welcome to WebChart MD. Today we're going to go through QA using our workflow manager. First thing we're going to do is log into our online portal. Once we're logged in, we'll see that we come to our our My Documents inbox. And the first thing we're going to do is go over a brief overview of the folders. So here to the left, you're going to see some main folders. You're going to have a workflow manager, My Documents, and All Documents. So let's look at the My Documents folder. In your My Documents folder, you have an Inbox, Rejected, and QA folder. In the Inbox folder, you're going to have within your inbox, you have some tools at the top on the toolbar. You'll have Change Dictator, Route, and Delete. You also have Search. Now the inbox under the My Documents are pending dictations that your MTs are working on. Next, let's look at the Rejected folder. So the rejected folder are audio files that your transcriptionist either have not been able to transcribe because of quality, or they're blank, or for any other reason that they can't be submitted back to the providers because of the audio file. And you also have your QA folder. So in the QA folder, the tools at the top are Submit, Change Dictator, Route, Case Info, Open, Add CCs, and Delete. You can do your QA workflow within this folder, but we're going to go through the workflow of QA through the Workflow Manager here in a moment. The tools at the top, so as long as you have one of the rows selected, the actions on the top will apply. So if you need to change a dictator, you'll just highlight a row and click Change Dictator, and you'll be able to select from the list of your providers. If you need to route a job to a different MT, you're just going to click Route, and you can select the MT you want to change the routing on, or a pool. The pools are listed at the bottom of the list. Case Info, this is going to give you the demographic information. Let's look at this job right here. We're going to open the Case Info, and let's say this patient's last name was Smithson. So you can change the demographic information on a patient. You can either update the case or update the case and the document, which is going to update the bookmarks within that document. And we'll see in our demographics that name has changed. And if we open that, allow the document handler to open. We're going to see that those changes have been made in the document as well. I'll just pull this document down so you can see it, and now it says Smithson. If you need to add CCs to the document, you're going to click this button, and it's going to allow you to search your address book. And add a CC if needed. You can also remove them. Next, let's look at the All Documents folder. So the All Documents folder is a view of the folders from a facilities point of view. So the pending folder for the facilities are audio files that are in transcription or QA that have not been submitted back. They also have an inbox. This folder contains the documents that have been submitted back but have not been finalized or e-signed. They have a rejected folder, which will be documents that the transcriptionists have typed incorrectly and they need to send back to you. And then the final folder. The final folder contains finalized and or e-signed documents. Now let's look at the buttons at the very top left of our screen. So we have a pin sidebar button that's going to pin or hide your folders view. We're also going to have a refresh data button, so this will refresh your dictation or transcription list. We're going to have a show totals, so that's going to allow you to see the totals of any of your folders. You're also going to have a group data button, so this will allow you to select any kind of criteria here that's going to allow you to group the data in that specific way. And you're also going to have a filters button, which is going to add filters to all of your column headers. Those are all very handy buttons to be aware of. I'm going to move back to the All Documents inbox just to review the audio file and document window that's here in the center of your screen. So there's a couple things about this area that is handy to know. So you can click the hamburger menu here at the top left and hide or show any columns that are on this list. Anything that is orange will be showing, anything that's blue is hidden, but you can add or hide any of those that you like. To close this window, you just click the X. Another thing that's handy is that you can move these columns to different locations that best suit your needs. Once you have the columns location and the columns hidden and shown that you like, they will persist each time you log in to the portal. You also here and under the All Documents folder have a few status columns. The first one here is going to be opened. The second one is going to be printed, then faxed, interfaced, and locked. So you can see once the documents have had that action applied to them, they'll get a little blue dot indicating that those have been performed. Another column to be aware of is this final column. It's known as the Actions column. It's going to contain 3 icons that will allow you to play the audio, view the document history, and the audit trail. The document history is going to contain all of the iterations of the document. So if you need to go back and restore a document in its original state, you can go back and do that. In your document history, is going to show you every action that's occurred on the document since it was uploaded. Okay, so now let's look at the Workflow Manager and the QA process. So the Workflow Manager is a very robust area. You're going to be able to find literally anything in the workflow within the Workflow Manager. By default, you're going to see all of the pending documents, which are documents that are waiting to be transcribed, as well as those in QA. You'll see within the Workflow Manager that the filters are added to the headers by default. This is going to allow you to search for any variable. So if you use the status column, you'll be able to search for delivered items. So delivered items are going to be items in the inbox or the final folder. So you can even search submitted documents if you'd like from the Workflow Manager. Okay, once that loads, you'll see here for status, you're seeing inbox and final folder. You can close that search out with this little red X to the left. And then again, your default QA and pending information will show up. You can also narrow down providers. So if you just want to see Dr. Reed, you can enter that. You'll see his document here that's pending. The toolbars on your the buttons on your toolbar at the top here are Route, Change Dictator, Submit, Case Info, Open, Play, Move, Export, and Delete. We'll go over each one of those. So to route, if you want to route this particular job to a different MT to type, you're just going to click Route, highlight that job and click Route, and then select the MT to send that to, and click Change. Change Dictator, if your provider has accidentally dictated under the wrong ID, you can change the dictator by highlighting the row you want to change. Click Change Dictator, select the correct provider, and click Change. And you'll see that that provider has been changed. Submit, I'll show you how to use that in the QA workflow. Case info works the same as it did in our QA folder. So if the provider, or I'm sorry, if the patient's name on this document is not Beth Adams, and we need to change that, we can open the case info, and let's say her name is just Adam, her last name. So we're going to remove the S. Update case and document. Close. I'm going to go ahead and close this change dictator as well, but you can see that her last name has changed. Open, I'll show you open and play when we get to the workflow or the QA process. Move, if you have a QA document you need to move back to the transcriptionist, you're just going to highlight that job, click Move. You're going to be able to move this virtually anywhere in the workflow. So I'm going to say we want that to go back to the transcriber. You can put a reason in there, but it's not required. Export. The export button is going to export the information in the audio window here. And then delete, of course, will delete a document if you need to, or audio file if you need to remove it from the workflow. Okay, so now let's look at the QA workflow from within the Workflow Manager. I'm going to go ahead and move some of my columns around so they're in a better place for me. So I'm going to put the pool next to the routed to column. That's going to allow me to see if these jobs are specifically routed to me or another MT, or if they're in a specific pool that allows me to have to grab and go ahead and work. Um, as a side note, uh, administrators with 100% association will be able to see everything, while QA folks that are only associated to a specific number of providers, they will only be able to see the providers that they are associated to. Okay, so your QA process from the Workflow Manager is going to be, you're going to log in, come to your Workflow Manager, you're going to narrow the status down to QA documents. Once you've done that, you're going to view the routed to in the pool column, and you're going to either grab a document that's assigned to you, you're going to open it. You're also going to click play to load the audio file in the Express Scribe. And then make any edits that you need. Save the document by closing with the X at the top right, clicking save on the prompt. Once you've done that, then you can submit that to the provider's inbox. Now you can also pick a document from the pool as long as you're assigned to those pools. So you're going to click one of those documents. Let's say that you need to change the demographics on this one for Laura Anderson. You're going to click Case Info. Let's say this patient's name was actually Lauren, and her date of birth was actually the 21st. We're going to update the case info and document. We're going to close that window. Then we're going to open the document. We're going to play the document. We're going to play the document here in Express Scribe. We're going to make any edits that we need to this document. We're going to close the document. We're prompted to save. And then we're going to submit the document. And then if we go in Dr. Sanders' folder, yep, and right there is Lauren's document. We can open it just to check for the validity of it. Okay, and you can see there's where I made the edits. So one more time, let's go through the Workflow Manager QA process. I'm going to go to the Workflow Manager. For status, I'm going to put QA. I'm going to select a job from a pool that I'm in. I'm going to edit the case info because this person's name is actually Amber Adam. Update case info and document. Close that. Then I'm going to open the Word document and play the audio. We're going to play the audio through ExpressScribe, make any edits that we need to in this document. Close the document. It's going to prompt us to save it. We're going to close ExpressScribe. Then once we're finished with this document, we're going to click Submit at the toolbar at the top. That's going to go to the provider's inbox, and we're done with the QA process. Once we're finished, we're just going to log out at the top right. If you have any questions or need any assistance, you can give us a call at 1-877-386-6677 option 2 or via email at support@webchartmd.com. Thank you.